Welcome to day 8 of the 4th annual Fannie Awards. What's up, my brethren? This is a very poor attempt at making a number 8 with my fingers because this is day 8 of the 2018 Fannie Awards. And today we're going to be talking about my third favorite movie of the year. That's right, we are in the top 3 now. It's already almost over. On top of that, we'll be giving out the Fannie for the most underrated film of 2018. And that one's always a little special because you want to give love where love is due. So, what is my number 3 favorite film of the year? This was a film that I was ready to just brush aside and say, nah, you know what, this isn't going to be anything super special. This is just going to be a flash in the pan fun thing. But it wasn't. I was wrong. I am so happy to have been wrong because movie number 3 was so much fun. It was downright spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking, of course, about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Who is Miles Morales? A year ago, only a small percentage of people could have really answered that question. Thankfully, the minds behind Into the Spider-Verse came together and answered it for us. Miles Morales is proof that the principle of what a character stands for is more important than the person behind the mask. Unlike the live-action Spider-Man films, which, even though I've loved many of them, have simply gone through the motions of telling Peter Parker's story and then pitting him against a revolving door of costumed bad guys, Into the Spider-Verse comes along and focuses on the wall-crawling webhead himself. Not on Peter Parker, not even necessarily on Miles Morales, but on Spider-Man, plain and simple. On what Spider-Man is and on what Spider-Man means. In short, Into the Spider-Verse is like one long, beautifully animated video essay where, with great power comes great responsibility, is the primary thesis. Yes, there's a superhero movie layered on top of that like frosting on a cake. There are parallel universes and large Hadron Colliders and cartoon pigs and Japanese kids piloting web-swinging robots, but it all works. None of that frosting compromises the taste of the cake. It just enriches it. There's so much packed into this movie that a second viewing is mandatory. We have a lot of superhero movies under our belts, and they can tend to get a little cookie cutter at times. Into the Spider-Verse is here to remind us that every once in a while, it's good to think outside the box so that we can present old ideas in spectacular new ways. And now my spider sense is a-tingling because I want to give some love to some movies that I think didn't get enough of it, but really, really deserved it. This is the Fannie Award for the most underrated film of 2018. If you haven't seen these 5 nominees, do yourself a favor and do them a favor. Check them out. They're better than you think. Give them a little bit of love because, hey, love makes the world go round, baby. It's plain and simple. The nominees for 2018's most underrated film are Blockers, Mortal Engines, The Post, Searching, Skyscraper. And the Fannie for most underrated film goes to Blockers. Let's face it, the last 8 years haven't exactly been a golden era for cinematic comedies. Aside from the 21 Jump Street movie, I can't think of a single comedy that really hit all the right notes and left me laughing till my sides hurt. Even though there were some honorable mentions, nothing has hit the level of a Ferris Bueller or a Superbad in a depressingly long time. Blockers isn't quite one of those A-list comedies, but it comes pretty damn close. Closer, I think, than any comedies in recent memory have come so far. The simple concept of 3 worried parents finding out about their teenage daughter's prom night sex pact is a great one, and it leaves wiggle room for all kinds of hilarious possibilities as the fateful evening unfolds. Even though I didn't feel like it lived up to that potential by the time the credits rolled, I still found myself laughing a lot and walking away genuinely touched by what turned out to be a very sweet ending. Sure, Blockers is raunchy and not for the squeamish and extremely R-rated, but it never loses track of its own heart. And because of that, I think it deserves a whole lot more credit than we've been giving it. It came out last April, almost a year ago, and since then I've still never spoken to another human being who's even seen Blockers. This is a genuine shame because Blockers brought a lot to the table. Even though it wasn't hitting home runs every single time, it played a damn good game of baseball. And it's a shame that it sort of fell by the wayside and was promptly forgotten. If you haven't seen Blockers yet, and statistically speaking, you probably haven't, it is absolutely 100% worth a watch. I can't promise it'll go down in history as one of your favorite comedic classics of all time, but you're definitely going to enjoy yourself. And if you're anything like me, you might even need to break out the tissues before all is said and done. So there you go, credit where credit is due. Please watch Blockers. I promise you'll have a good time. And watch the other 4 movies on the list too, because they did a great job telling whatever it was that they wanted to tell. That, my friends, has been day 8 of the 2018 Fannie Awards. We have 2 days left to go. Tomorrow, I'll be telling you my second favorite movie of the year. And I'll be giving out the award for the most disappointing film. That's a Fannie you don't want to win, but somebody's got to win it. Stick around tomorrow and we'll find out who.